This is going to go through a quad stretch. This is pretty much the strongest quad stretch I've ever been able to find that really pulls to the front of my hip and thigh. I'll show you in kneeling and I'll show you in standing. For anybody who feels a little unsteady or off balance, having something to hold on to is not a bad idea, whether that's a broomstick or I'm going to have this foam or this bolster right here. I'm going to lean forward and I'm going to put my foot up on this chair behind me. Now as I get my knee on the floor, I really try and get it to where I'm well up above my patella. So this isn't really all that uncomfortable. If it is tender on your knee, you may want to put a pillow or something from the couch just to cushion it. But I do want to get my foot up on a surface behind me, and my opposite leg will be up in front of me. Sometimes just holding onto this leg is enough. Some people will want a pad or a bolster for some balance. Now the other piece to this is I start off leaning forward so my back is nice and relaxed. And as I come up, I want to try and stay a little bit slouched. I tell people almost like you're cold. You want to try and stay a little rounded, and right from here I'm squeezing my butt and kind of pulling it underneath me. And already I feel a pretty strong stretch in my quad. I'll hold for 3 to 5 seconds and then come back down to where the stretch goes away. I can use this external pad or cane or broomstick, right? If I press down into it, that helps me engage my stomach. It's almost like I'm pulling my butt and my hand towards each other, and I maintain that as I come up. And same thing, I'm trying to really keep my back flat to isolate a good strong stretch here and back down. I can do the same thing without it if my balance is okay, either pulling into the front of my knee or pressing down. So if I start off here, and the same thing, I pull, so I'm kind of pulling my butt underneath me. I can, same thing, that external cue helps me to keep my hips underneath me. And really all of this is meant to try and avoid this, right? Because as soon as I do this, I feel some stretch, but not near as much, right? This is really me compensating for a tight quad by moving excessively in my lower back. As soon as I use this to pull my butt underneath me, now this is a super strong stretch, right? So I'm really trying to see if I can isolate this pull without my lower back moving. So I'll come down, this really flattens my lower back. I try and maintain this rounded shoulder posture as I come up to keep the stretch here without anything happening at my back. If someone's not very comfortable kneeling, you can do a similar motion on a chair, right? All you need is something that you can prop your foot up on. So a chair, sometimes the back of the couch can work if you have things to hold on to, right? But it's the same concept here. I start off leaning forward. I try and think about that same pull of my hips underneath. I can have a broomstick or I have this counter to press into and keep my back rounded as I come up. Squeezing my butt, I'm pulling my hips away from my heel, which is an important point. A lot of people want to sink back. I'm actually pulling my butt forward, sucking it underneath me, which is going to give me more of that stretch. As I sit back, I feel less stretch. If my back arches, I feel less stretch.